everybody, this is Mike Pach with Three Peaks Photography. Welcome to the Paint Mines in Calhan, Colorado. I'm at the Overlook, which is near the second parking lot. I wanted this segment of the video to look like one of those old kung fu movies. That's why my lips aren't synced with my voice. This is where we have to meet up with the trail that takes us down into the main part of the park where the largest hoodoos are, and that's where we spend most of our time photographing the night sky. The trail from here is less than a half of a mile according to the signage, so you need to be aware of that. We need to carry everything with us down to our location. This is the sign for the main parking lot at the Paint Mines. The main lot is usually where we meet before starting the workshop. It's the easiest place to find when you're out there. It is pretty dark, so we normally meet around 9 p.m. and you want to watch for the sign and these stones that line the edge of the parking lot. I'm going to walk over here to show you where the entrance is. There's a banner at the entrance with some helpful rules for the paint mines and a bathroom over here. So if you need to use the bathroom, this is another reason that we stop here. And it's also big enough that if you need to change into warm clothes, you can do that there as well. And this is where we'll hang out and make sure that everybody finds us. We'll do a little discussion, we'll go over some rules, we'll answer everybody's questions, go over equipment, make sure everybody's got everything that they need before we head over to the second parking lot. This is the second parking lot, which is about 4/10 of a mile down the road from the first parking lot. Everybody will get a parking pass to put on their dashboard so that they don't get a ticket while they're out here. That just tells law enforcement that you're supposed to be here, that you're out here on one of my workshops. Technically, the parking lots are closed after dark as well. And I normally don't ask people to meet me here unless there's a specific reason for me to do so. So normally we meet at the first parking lot. And here's the trail that leads to the Overlook. And we'll head out here. Normally we stop for a minute or two at the Overlook. If we're out here on a night when we have a bit of a moon, then we can take some shots at the Overlook as well. Now a little further down the road, there's this Y intersection. And some people have gotten lost because their GPS has told them to go further down the road. So I added this to the video to show you that if you've gotten to this point where the road splits into a Y, then you've gone too far. So I'm going to turn around here and show you. You can see a little further back, that's the second parking lot where those vehicles are parked. That's where we start our hike down into the park. If you're trying to meet us and you have gone to this Y intersection, you have traveled too far and you need to turn around and go back to the first parking lot.
Got a sweet little spot. Friends are bound and there ain't no turning round. This weekend we float the Arkansas. Browns Canyon's always neat. Number numbers certainly are a treat, dancing underneath the firelight. These stars are burning bright and we're lucky to have all these friends, and tomorrow we'll be doing it all. We'll be doing it all again. Pulling in the 7,000 feet, princess watching over me. Ruby Mountain goes on and on and on. Dirt trails and mud on my feet. Can't say I got any sleep, but this mountain air does soothe my soul. Browns Canyon's always neat, numbers certainly are a treat, dancing underneath that firelight. These stars are burning bright and we're lucky to have all these friends, and tomorrow we'll be doing it all. We'll be doing it all again. We threw our clothes on the beach. I might have snuck more than a piece, but we were all more than knee deep. And the smiles were thrown to and fro, burnt skin with a healthy grin, and hell yes, we're doing this again. Browns Canyon's always neat.
Here's a 360-degree view of one of the main places where we photograph after dark. That large boulder where my tripod is sitting is what I like to call equipment rock. That used to be on top of one of the hoodoos, and it's now a convenient place for us to set our gear. As we look around, we can see lots of opportunities for photographs. That's the tallest hoodoo right there in the center, and that's always a lot of fun to photograph. And working our way all the way back around, you can see all these great hoodoos with lots of color.
These stars are burning bright and we're lucky to have all these friends, and tomorrow we'll be doing it all. We'll be doing it all again. Thank you, peddlers. My mobile home with a bindle stick, and that forest fire was coming quick when we kicked up and the fire burned down my home. Need a different way to be, a way that keeps us wild and free. Home and moves we ride to on that road. Horses ran, then we did too, and that old Ford pickup really flew southbound out on Highway 83. Well, I felt going now. She said, well, anywhere but here, so we lay down for Nashville, Tennessee. Streets of Nashville's pretty grand, and you don't walk far to find the band. Light your head on fire and soothe your soul. And after a while, you miss that sky, and every other passerby is a mind seeking someone else's goal. I left my mobile home with a bindle stick, and that forest fire was coming quick when we kicked up and the fire burned down my home. Need a different way to be, a way that keeps us wild and free. On the moves we ride to on that road. Brooklyn would take us in, and Austin says we still be sin, and Eugene sent us backing on that train. Down that track on Old Pach Street, but it might take 37 weeks, but I'm coming home now, see my friends again. I left my mobile home with a bindle stick, and that forest fire was coming quick when we kicked up and the fire burned down my home. keeps us wild and free. Home that moves where I do on that road. A home that moves where I do on that road.
So now I'm down in the main area of the park where the largest hoodoos are. Directly behind me is the tallest hoodoo in the park. I don't know if it has a name. Maybe I should think about naming it. To my left is what I like to call the gallery. Early in the season, the Milky Way arch is low over these hoodoos, and this is a great spot to get some awesome panoramic images with the core of the Milky Way. That's April, May, June. Over here to my left, later in the season, June, July, the core of the Milky Way lines up really nicely along this little canyon here. And a few things to tell you about your experience out here on a workshop. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, permits are required, but the Parks Department only issues one permit per evening. So that means we basically have our own private deal going on. So that's really nice. Nobody else should be in the park while we're here. And it's really peaceful out here at night. It's kind of like being on a different planet. And as you can see by the things I'm showing you out here, you can kind of get that sense. And when you see some of the images that I've shot here over the years, you can even get more of a sense of that. You can see that there's lots of colors in these rock formations, and with the lighting systems that I use, those are intended to bring out those colors. One evening this past July, we were surprised by seeing the northern lights, and it came as a complete shock to us. We were actually looking in this direction to photograph the core of the Milky Way, and we started looking for some different compositions, and we started pointing our cameras to the north, and we ended up catching the northern lights, which is pretty rare to see here in Colorado, so it was extra special, and we got some really great images that night. This is where we spend most of the evenings. There's lots of different compositions, as you can see with the footage that I shot down here. Again, ignore the snow. This is being filmed or shot in January, and we've had a little bit more snow than usual lately. And this area doesn't get a whole lot of sunlight, so that's why the snow's hanging around. So there won't be any snow while you're here on my workshops during the summer months. But it does get cool here overnight. There's only been one time I've been able to spend an entire night out here in shorts and a long sleeve t-shirt. Usually I have to be bundled up pretty well, especially early in the season and later in the season. But it's a great spot. It's pretty dark, and we do get to see the Milky Way very well and lots of stars. And I hope to see you out here to join me. I want to mention that the workshops I do out here do support the El Paso County Nature Centers. I did work with the El Paso County Parks Department to open this up on a permit system. They were going to shut down the park for night sky activities, and I did work with them on a pilot program to prove that these workshops could be done safely and responsibly, and I felt it would have been a shame to shut down this area to everyone, because it is a wonderful place to come. If you want to come on your own, you have to make sure that you have a permit. Otherwise, if people are coming out here without a permit, then the county's going to think about shutting it down again, and we don't want that to happen. We want it to stay open for everybody to enjoy. And you can see, based on what I've shown you here, why I limit my groups to 6 students. This spot here is pretty narrow, and in order to make for a better experience for everyone and not trip over everybody and get in each other's shots, we limit to 6 people, and that makes things much better for everybody. I also have access to some property that's east of here, and I'll show you some pictures from out there. We can spread out a little bit more out there, but that's usually up to the group whether or not we want to head out that way. Depends on how everybody's feeling and what the weather's doing. But we've had some amazing nights out here. And there are also some other spots in the park that we like to visit. And again, that's also up to the group. If things are going really well out here, then we spend most of our time out here. If people are feeling a little bit more adventurous, then of course we can go to the other spots. Now keep in mind that we do have to hike to get down to the spot. So everything that you need to shoot the stars, you have to carry with you. Your tripod, your camera, your lenses, if you're bringing a tracker, anything like that, you have to carry with you. Your water, your snacks, your warm clothing. So we want to make sure that you're in good enough shape to be able to do that. The distance between here and the overlook is roughly a half a mile. It takes about 15 minutes or so to get down here from that spot. The trail's not too bad. It's a little bit steep in some parts, but it's mostly flat, and we just want to make sure that you're prepared for that. It's different than my Westcliff workshops. In Westcliff, we are right next to our vehicles, so that's very convenient for us, and you can bring whatever equipment you want, and you don't have to really carry it anywhere. It's different down here, and we just want to make sure that you're aware of that. As you see from the view around here, there aren't really any great places to sit. So if you have a nice portable chair, maybe I'll throw mine into the video. I've got this nice tripod chair that is very well built and is very lightweight, and I carry that with me when I come down here. So the rocks out here aren't really great to sit on, and if you sit on the dirt, the dirt is more like clay, and that really gets embedded in your clothes and it's hard to get out. So if you have a nice lightweight camping chair or a tripod chair, it's a good idea to bring it with you, and that way you have a place to sit down and get off your feet for a while. Okay, well, looks like it's starting to get a little bit dark, but I'm here just before sunset. And once again, just to remind everybody, if you're planning on being here after dark, you do need a permit. And it is a wonderful place to come and photograph the night sky. And we hope to see you out here.
Comes a light. They say it's always darkest just before the dawn. They say it's always darkest just before the dawn. I know the light is coming, got to carry on.
This is the farmhouse that I have access to east of the paint mines. This is a short time lapse that I made one night when I was out there when there was a thunderstorm in the area. It's a fun place to visit when there's clouds in the sky or when it's a clear night. There's an unobstructed view to the eastern horizon, so it's a great place to photograph early in the season when the Milky Way is arcing low over the eastern horizon. It's also a great location for sunrise. There's a little bit of a walk from where we park our cars, maybe a couple 100 yards up a short hill. It's well worth the effort to be there, and we've gotten a lot of great photographs from this spot.
Scattered reminders of the light that will be found. I'm feeling like a new moon, a shadow in the sky. I'm feeling like a new moon, a shadow in the sky. Just floating in the darkness until there comes a